Today I'm gonna share with you the #1 thing of the 7 things I fucking hate about being a digital nomad. Okay, so #1 is definitely that things just go sideways. I mean, it's uncertainty, you know? This is true in life in general, I guess, but as it happens to be true in being a digital nomad is that I have not seen, or I've never met a person who hasn't had some sort of horror story, whether that is at the customs, with the airline, or at the hotel, or getting mugged on the street. I mean, I've been doing this for so long, and I've been traveling for decades now, but I mean, full-time digital nomad for 2 or 3 years, but it's just it just happens. I mean, and so you never know when it happens, and you just know that you're always outside your comfort zone, right? And so when you travel, my last horror story was just 2 months ago in Cairo, Egypt, flying out to Bangkok, got my luggage scanned before I even walk into the airport, and then I got swarmed by police guys because they scanned my drone, and for the audacity to just having a drone, owning it. And then I thought I would end up in jail that day. Luckily I made it out, but they did take my drone. 1,200 euros gone. I wanted to cry right there, and but that shit just happens, and that is #1 of the 7 things I fucking hate about being a digital nomad. It is a #2 thing of the 7 things I fucking hate about being a digital nomad. Okay, so here it goes. Once you get to a place and you establish yourself and you find all the nice restaurant and the gym and all the things that you really like about your life, and being productive and working on your laptop and just being that super cool nomad person you thought you would be, well, exactly in that moment is when reality hits you and you've got to leave again. So that's the reality. Once you get settled down and you start liking the place a lot and the people that live here, and you made your new friends and all of these things that are really worthwhile, just when you thought you had it perfect, then you have to leave. That's part of the digital nomad existence, right? Because saying goodbye to people you like and to the life you acquired is actually, it sucks every time. And so it's ironically, of course it's ironically the same thing that you like about this lifestyle, because that's why you started to do it in the first place. We want to make a lot of friends and meet a lot of people and places and all of that. But there is a downside to this lifestyle, because once you leave you have to let go, and letting go, that's sort of a spiritual process. Then you might tell yourself, okay, I'm coming back soon and meet those people again, and this might be true, but nevertheless it's still a goodbye, and it's closing a chapter of that book for now, right? And so it's pretty profound, guys, because you know, when you do that, then you realize that nothing is actually permanent. Like, we always live in this illusion that things are stable, right? And then they just keep going and keep being the way they are, and it's just not true. It's an illusion. We actually think we don't notice, but things are always changing and nothing is permanent. And so by leaving all the time, you really stop deluding yourself, and you kill the illusion that things are stable, because they're not. You have to be able to let go and then move to the next step, next situation, next location, next chapter in your life. That's pretty hard to do, but it's also rewarding. #3 thing of the 7 things I fucking hate about being a digital nomad. Okay, guys, so #3 today is gonna be a little bit controversial, and but I'm gonna just say it out loud as it is, and I don't care if it's offensive, but it's the truth. The truth is that not all countries are equal. What I mean by that is that some cultures are better than others, okay? So that statement in 2024 can really put you in a defensive place. Like, it's not really acceptable for a lot of people, which is why I hate it, because it puts you, it's like it's an adversarial take to have, but it's the reality. So if you have traveled, and if you know the world, and if you've been on different continents and interacted with people, then it's just a normal thing, because your brain does it, and it's just not, you don't even choose to compare things, but you do. So if we go to a restaurant, we automatically, in our mind, we start comparing the food to other restaurants we've had in the past. Same happens with people, how they treat you, how they talk to you, what are the cultures, what are the traditions, how is the hygiene, how does everything look like outside. And so there's so many things in that we constantly scan, like we don't even notice how we do this, but we do it nevertheless, and it's not avoidable, right? So when you travel the world, you constantly see these different scenarios and environments, and then your mind will start comparing and judging based on what you can see, right? And so it's also just a fact, and this is something also people might not like, but it's a fact that countries that have cultures in place with more order, with more structure, they're generally speaking farther ahead in many regards, like economically and culturally and so forth. So, and I'm not saying that the West is some better culture. Well, I think the foundations of it, the ideas behind the Western countries are, but right now, in many regards, I think actually the West is losing its lead to other countries, for example, like Indonesia. So one of the things that I've noticed in other countries is that, for example, in the countries that still have some sort of, let's say, gender roles in place, happiness is way higher than in the West, because we really trashed it. And it's not good. It's not helping with our the reproduction rate. The birth rates are plummeting, and so there's many things that I think have very negative impact. And then other things that, for example, Vietnam has socialist country, but they put into place like these super open market, free market principles, and it's working. People have more, I guess in Vietnam there's more opportunities than in some European countries right now, because they did that, right? So just to finish off this point here, what I hate about it is that just to having this opinion, to see things or cultures in some things better than other, if becoming more conservative by traveling more is a reality, I cannot, well, it's just a fact. So yeah, I gotta kind of hate it, because you can't lie to yourself once you see, you can't unsee what you see. And so understanding that knowledge and wisdom comes from experience, not from reading a newspaper or your favorite news outlet. You actually have to engage with people, go out and travel and see the world and see what's actually happening, how people live. If that makes me more conservative, well, then so be it. Here is the number 4 thing of the 7 things I fucking hate about being a digital nomad. Okay guys, so the number 4 thing is clearly the fact that being a digital nomad is essentially at odds with productivity. And I've said this before, and I'm gonna say it again because it's just true. The reason for that is because when you build, or when you want to achieve a new outcome, you have to build the right habits, right? So in order to become or make something happen for you, a business endeavor, a new relationship, it doesn't really matter what it is, but it all comes down to your ability to structure your day in a way that it's conducive to success, right? And so that means you want to make sure that all the necessary daily habits that you need to execute to get where you want to get, those are easily doable, okay? And then here the keyword is easily doable. And that is the problem with digital nomad lifestyle, because since you're all the time on the run, changing location, everything is around you is constantly in flux, that makes it a lot more difficult for you to actually create a routine that is sustainable and then that you can just follow through and execute every single day, which is so necessary, guys. And so that's actually why I came up with the Nomad Mastermind, where I poured in all of my knowledge into this software, this Notion template, because that's the tool that has helped me to overcome that problem. That even when I was traveling, I could still do my daily journaling, I could still do my content planning, I could still do my habit tracker and my fitness. Everything I need is in this one place, and that's why I built this tool. But yeah, it's a thing. It's also problematic that, for example, other people, when they have their normal, let's say, schedules at home, they don't need to think, they don't need to take the same decisions over and over again, which is why they are also in an advantage, because they don't have to use valuable energy to do that. So there is this saying that if you can eliminate 1,000 decisions with one, then that's a very smart thing to do. And so as a nomad, you constantly have to rethink again where I'm gonna go to the gym, where I'm gonna get my daily walking done, where am I going to be productive and work and do some focused work. So there's a lot of things that we have to again and again think through as nomads, which is not ideal. So everything in life comes at a cost. I still believe that it's worth it, because you get this in exchange, and so yeah, but it's a choice, and you need to be aware that this is gonna make it a little bit more difficult for you, and that's why I hate it. Here is the number 5 thing of the 7 things I really fucking hate about being a digital nomad. And number 5 is other travelers, okay? And there's 2 types of other travelers that I dislike. Number 1 is the other nomads or solo travelers that are not, because they're in a survival mode, they're trying to make a living, not sure how to do it, they're lost, they're lonely. It's okay. I mean, I've been there, and it's not a nice place to be if you really lack clarity and you don't know where you're going, and it's a problem, right? The thing is not this state is a vulnerable state. It's that a lot of these people, then when they sort of go into survival mode, they get into this me mindset, and they want to extract things from you. Like they want to be your friends, but they really don't show any signs of real friendship. They're just looking for how they can benefit from you, which is not a thing you want into your life, welcome into your life. So you should be aware and wary of people that are just taking advantage of you or want to take advantage of you, and stay away from these people. And then number 2 are other tourists, like foreigners that are like walk through these countries like if it was a zoo, where they like observing some sort of a species are there, and they're in like with their head down and fearful and not wanting to engage with the locals. It's just a shame. I mean, why are you coming here to these countries, and then you just don't talk to the locals? They are friendly people, they have things to share, they're happy to engage most of the time. It's really rare that that's not the case. So behave like a normal person, and when you come to these countries, and be a cool guy, make friends, and enjoy your stay. That's really what I would say. So I hate these people that are just not that come here and have no intention whatsoever to engage with the people. And here is number 6 of the 7 things I fucking hate about being a digital nomad, my friends, okay? So number 6 cannot miss. We have to mention money, my friend. Money. So it's just the reality. For example, here in Thailand, there are always 2 tiers for tourists and for Thai people, okay? So if you are a tourist, you're always gonna pay considerably more money for the same goods or services. And that is true for rent, that is true for food, that is true for everything. So it does make sense to pay attention to this video and make friends as fast as humanly possible. Meaning that you want to make friends and engage with the locals, because if you do, you might end up with one who pays stuff for you. You can pay him, and then you don't pay the tourist prices. That's something that would be useful. And also, well, it's also true that as a tourist you get scammed quite a lot. I mean, this is true for every country, I guess. Some more than others. So for example, in Latin America, I mean, if they notice that you're not from there, it's probably gonna cost you a lot of money, because you get by taxi drivers, you get at the market, and so on and so forth. So it's really I mean, we get scammed in our home countries as well, but as a traveler, it's just the reality that people take advantage of your lack of knowledge. And so there's always bad people. It's part of the game, but it sucks when you discover that you just lost money. It always sucks. It's just the reality. So I hate that. And but there's nothing more to be said, okay? And the number 7 of the 7 things that I fucking hate about being a digital nomad, my friends, is it's addictive. It's so addictive. I mean, with all of the things that happen and can go sideways, and the moments of loneliness and sorrow that also are part of that journey. I didn't specifically mention loneliness because it can be a bitch as well, but it's also so addictive. I mean, yes, loneliness, but it's also addictive. Your mind, you get accustomed to the sensations of novelty, freedom, new people, new locations, new experiences, because you only live once, my friends. You only live once. And when I am in my grave, I don't want to be the richest person in the graveyard. I want to be the person who has lived, really lived his life. And that is it. That's all about digital nomadism on travel. I mean, the world is your playground, and if you only spend your time in one room of a big villa, then you haven't explored anything. So it's not worthwhile to just, I don't know, for me, this is life. And so it's addictive, and I love that, and also hate it, okay? So see you in the next video. Thank you for tuning in. Subscribe, share me a like, a comment, anything, my friends, anything. Oh, by the way, sign up to the newsletter to get a free Nomad Mastermind access and setup call by myself, okay? See you on the other side.